Hello everybody, this is Snurrist again, and I'm back with RWBY Grimm Eclipse. This is my Eclipse difficulty solo walkthrough, and this is Chapter 8, a grim discovery, and a very grim beginning to 3 of some of the hardest chapters in the entire game, besides the very first one in its final sequence. But consistently, these next 3 chapters are going to be where all the challenge comes into play. So if you can, just stand at the back on the opposite side of the steam wall there. That steam that comes through blocks you off from getting through. I believe you can take damage when you go up against it, so just stay away from it. Stay out of that little ooze pool there. And right now I'm just fighting these Grimm that burrow into the ground. This actually comes off of the heel of dying. I do remember that I died before I loaded back up, so the menu you saw me in just before, yeah, I had died already. And that's because in this area here, I had to fight against the Red Robots, the ones with the spears and lances. And you notice this was a very quick fight. Well, I tell you what, this becomes so much longer and so much harder if you have to fight the Red Robots. But luckily, if you die in the sequence, you can reload it, and you'll start from the beginning of the mission. It's not that far off, but you may not have to fight them again. But I will have to fight the Red Robots in this area here, which I suppose, depending on how you look at it, can be just as dangerous. But I won't be speeding up anything in this particular chapter, because not only does it not go on for a very long time, because of course, as I've said in the previous part, this is not a long mission, not a long chapter. It just can be because of all the dying you can do. Feel free to get away from the enemies and use Blake's ultimate, or save it up for the Red Robots like right now, or just keep your distance and spam the stun blades. So what you kind of need to do is to keep away from them, find a chance to shoot them, and to keep them back. Because wherever you're aiming, you need to use the left stick to aim where you're going to go to. I don't know what I was trying to do there, but luckily I got the stun blade off and stunned most of them. But now they're all lined up, you see. Now pretty much all of them are lined up. Now I aim towards him, and so I'm aiming left to right, left to right, left to right to make sure none of them get close. Because they don't stay stunned for long, but again, I apologise for the bad camera, it's just how it is. I get in the middle of them, use a couple of my ultimates just to get rid of most of them. It is perfectly plausible to use this as a way of killing them, because see their health go down slowly just beneath the sort of stun symbol there. You are killing them, it's slowly happening, but you are killing them. And this is a great example of what I was talking about before, just using the left stick to point where you want to shoot to. And this whole thing becomes so much easier. And it's also a great way to build up your ultimate meter as well. And this is going to be another sequence where I died, where you've got to fight 3 different waves of enemies, but it's more annoying because you've got Dr. Merlet and Ozpin sort of bantering back and forth in between, and those combos can go on for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It's just annoying to listen to them. One of those whole, you have to listen to a cutscene before you get back to the fight after you died type of thing. But anyway, you notice in the bottom right, I guess I haven't mentioned this for a while now, or at all, and all the time I've been doing the walkthrough, is that there's a combo meter, and when that fills up completely with blue, it'll reset and give you a boost to your ultimate. Like, sure, you build up your ultimate naturally by taking damage and dealing damage and getting kills, but if you can fill up that hexagonal, and you'll get like a small boost to your ultimate. And doing this is a great way to get your ultimate back. Look how fast the ultimate's charging up. And I'll have to refresh my memory when I see the footage in Chapter 10 where you fight the final boss. But I'm pretty sure doing something like this is a great way to get your ultimate back. And that way you can deal tons of damage to any of the robots that come for you, because the ultimate is largely useless against the final boss. It's the heavy attack that you want to use against the final boss, but again, I'll talk more about it because it'll probably be the longest video in the series I'm doing. So there's another transition there because I actually did die. I'm pretty sure if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say the reason why I kept that one in, but not anything else, or the one I did before this, is because that just went so smoothly, whereas what I just did didn't go so smoothly. But it's also maybe a case of you can possibly enter an encounter where you don't fight the Red Robots, whereas in this, I am. And I think it'd be great to have a bit of integrity and show you just how tough some of these fights can get. So if you do end up with it, and you do keep getting, unfortunately, the tougher enemies to fight in each of these waves, it could be a good way for you to find some solace in knowing that you're not alone, and that there is a way that you can deal with this, and I'm going to show you how. Because I already said it's stupid that, you know, it's not set in stone, these encounters, that some of them can change based on or RNG based on luck. Sometimes you'll get really easy encounters you can breeze through, other times you won't. And that'll have been in the final wave, so you just turn off the valve and you go through here and across this catwalk. Funny I say that, considering what Blake's faunus, side of her is, being a cat. It's funny. And this is the final part before you go in through there and get to the end. And you can tell by the time this is half the mission, because it's bloody long, and I've died several times on this. I think overall, if memory serves me correctly, the total footage ended up being maybe like half an hour or something. It felt way longer than that. So I'm getting a bit gutsy here, but just by tackling the Grimm with regular attacks, when I should be using my ultimate, because the robots don't show up for a while, not until the final wave, or at least the final two. And this is also where you'll first be introduced to the enemies that they call the tanks, or the white robots. And those things are not as dangerous as the red robots, honestly, now that I think about it, but they can be, especially if you're in close quarters. Just get right in there, use an ultimate, stun them again, and kill some of them. That's a good thing about Blake's ultimate as well, even though it doesn't do as much damage as the Inferno, the skill point cost just isn't worth it, and being able to stun and stagger enemies just for a couple of seconds, that should have killed me. I don't know how I'm alive, but that should have been dead. That should have been death. I should have died. But now they're all lined up, and you get a couple of them that sometimes get stuck on the geometry. It never lasts for too long, unfortunately, so it's not that broken of a game. And I don't know if it's just me now that I see Blake's character model close up, but I mean, at a glance, this game's, graphics obviously aren't really all that impressive, but the character models for the girls actually look very similar to how they do in the first 3 seasons of the show, which is sort of where this takes place. And it just goes to show, doesn't it? You don't need something hyper-realistic to look good or look iconic. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of why I don't really have any complaints with graphics and why I never complain about graphics, usually, because, I mean, art style is more important. I've always thought this. Okay, now things are getting hairy. The red robots have spawned. I just let off an ultimate to stun them and stagger them and get away. Use the stun blades to great effect. Try to get around them, try to get away from them. Pop in between them when they're stunned, use an ultimate and get away. And these are the last enemies we deal with before we move on to the next couple of waves and the end of the mission. See, it's like I said, Chapter 9 isn't so bad. It's definitely not as intense as this one can be. I mean, the final sequence can be, depending on who you use. I'm mostly stuck with Blake in Chapter 9 just because it works for me. But given what the final corridor and encounter in Chapter 9 is, I almost wonder if, despite Blake's ability to use stun blades, I wonder if every other character would have been a lot better than her. Because besides her ultimate and, trying to find a chance to let off the stun blades, you can pretty much use any character in Mission 9, can't you? Now that I just realised that. Yang might have been quite fun to use, but... And, Jesus... What happened to the world? Well, I don't know what happened there, but... it's not the most gloriously designed of games, so it is what it is. Okay, if you ever get these things, they don't always pop up in Wave 3, or at all, but sometimes you'll get them. Just get rid of them nice and easily with the stun blades, keep them at a distance. And now we've got Urs to fight, as well as some of the other Grimm, and I believe we're going to get the white robots later on. If we don't, that's very fortunate, and it's not the end of the world, because if you see... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, the next chapter could be a good chance to learn about them, but look, there's like 5 or 6 of them, and you see those arced grenades they just threw down? See what they're doing right now? You can get hit by the spray of the bullets, but look how that grenade's just fucking chasing me. I realised that with Blake's stun blade, which I assume this applies to every character, the final attack on their gun attack, like with Ruby it'd be like her ice bullet, or like her supercharged bullet. For Weiss it'd be like one final barrage, for Gang it would be the missiles that come out of her gauntlets, and for Blake it'd be her stun blade, but yeah, you can cause those things to explode prematurely before they get to you. But it doesn't usually happen. So, actually, now that I think about it, how many are there? Are there 7 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. Yeah, there's 7 of them. Isn't that insane? 7 tanky dudes with a lot of health that spray all across the area, and you've got to stay off the floor. and they can launch grenades at you, that one of them is enough to take off all of your aura and put you into critical, but you've got 7 of them coming at you. Isn't that ridiculous? And 2 Urs that can pound the ground and catch you off guard as well. But ideally what you want to do here is just keep at a distance, use the stun blades, get them stunned even just a little bit, get right in there and use your ultimate. I should mention as well, if you stay too close to them for too long, they'll drive their gun into the ground like that there, off the left. See what he just did? If you get too close, they'll drive their gun into the ground, create a shield that stuns you and takes off a lot of your aura, and they jump away. You can use that to bait them. You can get up to them, let them jump away, and then jump away yourself, and then just jump dash straight towards them, and you can close the distance, and because it takes them a second or two to recover from that jump, it's a good chance for you to stun them or to drop an ultimate in their faces and just shit all over the chest. But yeah, once you start whittling them down and taking care of their numbers one by one, it becomes a lot easier to deal with them all. And then when you're done, just go up to the door and go on through, and that's the end of the mission, and I'll see you in the next one.